I haven't been in Ireland for 3 years. And before I lived here for 10 years. Emerald Island, you're amazing. Thank you for your hospitality, for the conference, and the beer. The beer and people is the warmest part of Ireland and the best part of Ireland, including everything else. So thank you. About myself, I am currently working at Finalsite Executive VP. What does it mean? I'm running engineering across the globe. So imagine if we were a company and we had different parts, different teams, different departments. Yeah. So let me explain my path and how it contributes to understanding and connecting business and development. Yeah. So as many of you, I was a developer. I started as an individual contributor. I was a technical leader, an architect, and at that time, if you remember, you work with a team of 5, 10, 15. At some point, I became engineering manager, right? And in the engineering managers, I started working across a few teams, 20 people plus, and I started understanding that it's not only about technology, but a bit about business, right? Director of engineering, I started working with, a few teams across Europe. Yeah, it starts being a bit more complex, right? It's always a bit, you're learning something. It's amazing, yeah? I myself was born in Germany, then I lived in Ukraine, then I lived in Cyprus and in Ireland. It gives you perspectives. I suggest you, think about perspectives, travel the world, try new food, and do what you love. Okay, then I did what I love. I continue growing in management and connecting people. And last job was global head of engineering. Now it's VP of engineering when you have a global team across all geographies, 24/7, and it's hundreds of people. And I love it. Yeah, maybe you don't, I love it, but if you love your team, do what you love. Okay, so this is my perspective. By the way, with my wonderful teams, we created a few platforms. One of them was mobile applications. Second was mainly about gaming, this William Hill. And Utro was done actually mainly in Ireland and Poland. Development was here. And this is web cloud platform. And this is one which is public and available. So we will return to this particular platform. I believe we have a few people who worked at Guidewire at some point, yeah? At least one? Okay. Okay, so the pub is waiting for us. Lovely. Also, I'm an DevOps and web contributor. Yes, I'm still programming. I love it. Yeah. I contributed to Terraform, JavaScript, ECMAScript specs, and I contributed to Chrome. Eddie Asmani is my good friend. Lovely team they have at Chrome. Okay, let's continue. So, what problem typically we need to solve when we're speaking about platform engineering? Imagine. We are a big company, so for now we are here. You're all coming from different companies. Imagine if it was acquired, right? So company typically acquires other companies, and they are coming with different tech stacks. They are coming with different UI and different solutions and approaches. Okay. Secondly, at some point you understand that actually you have 95% of availability for customers. When it's up to 95%, still 20 days per year. Your sites, your backend, your API is down, despite it's 95%. Typically, you have crazy amount of vendors, somebody using GitLab, somebody Github, somebody using Azure, or something else. Great, yeah? You need to pay for this, but also people fighting. I love this, I love this, I love this. I understand, yes. And then security fixes. Good luck to fix security at the scale. If you remember, if one NPM package has security issue, we need immediately start fixing in all these different infrastructures. So more or less. Meaningful time to repair, I will not go into details, but technical stack is different, CI/CD is different, hosting is different. Great. Now imagine we decided that we will have CFO, we will have finance, we will have security, similar like in a big company, and everyone want like, okay, cost efficiency, time to market, security. You want also to make sure that your developers and architects are happy. Okay, this means we need to build a platform. Somewhere here it starts with, I have a dream. So I have a dream when you just like start thinking how you will build a platform. Typically, if you're speaking about front-end part, there is always other parts. So take a look. Use something which is you can build with DocuShour. DocuShour, I will give you a few tools which you can use. This is based on creation of 4 different platforms, yeah? So imagine you joining my story, I will tell you my story of creation. 4 platforms, imagine if you as a company creating a platform. So use DocuShour, you see it's very popular on GitHub, it's public, and create a simple site, as a first step, which we did, for example, for Utro, which allows you to publish different versions, right? It's simple markdown site, and put there anything you want. Information, so first of all, it's internal development platform, where everyone can download your, first of all, find any documentation. Secondly, download any your files. For example, here you can add your Figma files if you wish. Here you can describe how to you developing components, and you just need to put it somewhere, right, to share them. Put them here. For now, it's simple, right? You can even put the applications. Done. You have some place, everyone knows. If I want to use your platform, I'm opening this internal URL, and I start using this, yeah? Component by component. It's simple. Okay. If you will go at scale, use Backstage. Okay, then, who knows Storybook, who uses Storybook? Yes, Storybook allows you to go at scale. For Storybook, start from creating simple components. Think about business cases. Business cases, imagine, when you CTO, I was with this particular role, when you CPO, you have actually flow of money to decide, and if you guys by technology enable business, you will be on the wave, right? Otherwise, you against the wave. Don't try to do it. Try to always be smart and find how your technology can be on the wave with the business. It will allow you to actually do the things you love at scale. Okay, so start from simple components and then start creating more advanced. Something wrong here. Okay, anyway, let me try. So when you create in Storybook, make sure that you also describe how to use your variables. Okay. Add tests there and other goodness. Strange. Something's very wrong. In Storybook, you will typically add also your theming. You will add your versioning here and other parts. Okay, so Storybook is understandable. You have also add-ons. You can include testing and other parts. Right, so imagine, here we have teams, yeah? Imagine here is UX team, here is the operations team, and here is development team, which is here product, right? They somehow started creating this documentation, somehow created this Storybook. It's some coexisting, they started to find each other, yeah? And maybe they have some product which helping them for the good things. Here maybe it's hard to read, but you need to think about SDLC. You, at scale, need to start thinking, okay, I need some internal development portal where everyone can find my goodness. So for example, for now it's Markdown. Then I need to find the way how people can download and use my stuff. At this point, it's in Storybook. It's downloadable. Later we'll add NPM, Artifactory, or other parts. It's simple. Start from simple, give the value, and make sure that adoption starts happening. UX. We have UX team who also wants to make sure that Figma is using their Figma. So any team which will take their design will ask for your goodness for your components. For testing, for now it's guidance on portal, CI, same. Infrastructure and analytics you had no idea for so far. You had no time. Okay, let's continue. After that, be smart. So remember I told you, you need to be on the wave with business. It means most of all, the ask is for all these acquired companies or other, give me a set of components, a lot, yeah? User can save using material design or something like that, or build your wrappers together with your UX and use headless components, add your styles of your company, or use existing components or use Tailwind. Just find your way, whatever works for your business, do it. As fast as possible, get the library of components, similar to what we see here in Storybook. From experience. This took 3 years to build. Try to find smarter way. I learned my things, right? Okay, so try to find your way. This is from experience. Okay, and something simple, make sure you're creating your simple started application. Either create React app or use Vite or use something with like capacitor. Make sure that you create a repository and make this downloadable. Later you can do this through Backstage. So everyone can start from the same application which you suggested. Okay, remember I told you, make sure you're moving fast. What is the most popular topic last 2, 3, 4, 5 months? AI, sure. So here, one of the examples, I will not show you the Warp AI terminal, but here, mark prompt using how's it called? OpenAI embedding API and vector databases. So here you can upload your documents, documentation from code, comments in your JavaScript files. So this was generated from comments in JavaScript and TypeScript files. And then you can speak with this thing, right? So essentially you can speak with your PDF, you can speak with your documentation. Do you have time to write the documentation? Maybe no, because there is no documentation team assigned. So let's play something interesting. Generate a page using Utro, add an input component. I have no idea, will it work or not? I hope it will not fail, otherwise it's not fun. Okay, so essentially it learned how to use Utro, there is CLI, how to generate the application. It also knows that to find a new component, you need to use this particular structure. So let's see if it will fail or not. So, for example, somebody who worked at Guidewire knows very well it's not BS, it's truth, yes. So it says how to generate a component, and hopefully it will give you some information how to create a code. I love to see the result. Let's hope. Come on. No fun. So typically it also just like shows the code. This is exactly the same, this similar input on Mark prompt, right? So if you want to move fast with your documentation, start from Mark prompts. Then, at this point, it's adolescence for your platform. Why? Except this team, it started being an burning executive imperative that we want to use the platform. Some adoption happened. So take a look. Another team started using your components. Another team liked your approach with documentation, so it's easier. Yeah. Some others started using the UX design, and they need your components. So your adoption is growing, and adoption is your main metric together with business value. So at this point, you see you already have NPM packages, hopefully in something like Artifactory, instead of downloadable components on your portal. Also, you will start adding Figma. So it's not just downloadable or something else, it will be real Figma files. For testing, you will start adding some examples of tests. For CI, you will start adding some plugins and hooks. For the rest, it will be still guidance. You will create the guidance what about infrastructure, analytics, and how you will create Slack channels, email notifications, and yada yada. So now we're growing. Okay, who knows about, first of all, who created design systems? Yeah, tell me you did, right? Okay, you didn't. Not many. Design tokens, no? Lovely. So take a look, yeah? For everyone who doesn't know design tokens, folks, just use it. It's simple as hell. You know that it's actually CSS variables, right? So here, using CSS variables, you can change styles. Nothing else than this. So CSS variables look in CSS with a bit dash dash. Essentially, it's nothing else than JSON, for example. JSON, YAML, who cares? The system is the same, right? Then you can use the same tokens in Figma. So every time when you add in a new design token, and for your design system, you can reflect it either in your CSS as CSS variables, or in Figma. Here, let's play a game. So where is my color? I hope it's loaded. Here is the color. Same in Figma. I change it to dark, and I can download the config. Export design token file. Here it is. Okay, Figma. Everyone using Figma, right? Come on. Okay, so essentially here is the same JSON, the same file. You can automatically, on every code change, in every role of your organization, make sure that it follows your particular practice. There is a type of design token, there is a type of CSS variable, and nobody can break your design system if you do not willing to, especially if you're giving this code to customers. So this is good fun. Make sure that you learn what is design system, what is design tokens, if you thinking about the design system at scale. Then, after a few talks I gave, folks started speaking. So I'm speaking not only about front-end parts, but about back-end, infrastructure, vendors. I created an awesome platform engineering GitHub repo. It became a bit popular. And here you can find, okay, what I can do for my development portal. So I said to you that you can use Backstage or create something with DocuSaur. Let me make it a bit bigger. What can I do for my frontend? I spoke about Storybook. Let's speak about that you can use Capacitor or Commander.js if you want to create this CLI. There is also design tokens, yeah? Feature flags. If you don't use it, try it. Try LaunchDarkey and you can ship your features and then turn on, turn off. And there is many other things which you can find here. If you think about micro frontend, start actually searching how you can build not only reusable components, but micro frontends. All this, when I was first time doing this with my teams, took 4 years. Second time it took 2 years. Last time it was 1 year. I hope now at final set it will take a bit less than 1 year to create something at scale. So here, we as a big company hopefully will create something even faster. Okay, feel free to contribute or use it. At this point, especially if you will add these design tokens and upgradability, your team will start becoming more or less half of the room. Half of the room creating platform, half of the room start shipping products much faster, right? So this is maturity. So you will have UX and operations contributing to this. You will see that your team start being part working on front end, part working on authentication, backend integration, part working on some observability and other things. And there is many customers. So in the second part of the room, there will be your internal development team as customers. At this point, you see it start being a scale. You will have unit tests, end-to-end test infrastructure, you will have CI/CD, so everyone can not just in the matter of click have front-end application which integrated with your GitHub, GitLab, whatever, integrated with your GitHub action. On every push, it can just like go up to the production or at least dev environment within test and others. It's all possible. You can use, for example, the backstage as example. Okay, big part which I missed today because we're a bit limited on time, it's about upgradability. Use design tokens and make sure that everyone who using your platform always updating to the latest version. This will allow you to roll out security fixes and others at scale. You will learn how to do code shift and other tricks to update the customer's code. Okay. So, if you followed the journey, I hope I have a dream became we have a dream. So, this is the result, more or less, of doing this 3.5 times, right? Cost. So common vendors, if you, at one company we had 124 vendors, we resulted in 30 vendors. It went down to 35% just because you consolidate. Everyone using, for example, GitHub, everyone using AWS. Okay, platform area. At another company, when it was at the biggest scale, it was 50 plus applications, 100 microservices, 20 plus micro frontends. 20 apps is customer facing. UX design, it's when we measured, remember, adoption is your biggest metric. 82% of the company used the design system, so every time design guys wanted to, let's say, create dark team, it went to everyone immediately at the same point. DORA metrics. Who knows DORA metrics? Meaningful time to recovery and other parts. So anyone who touched metrics for engineering, product, and other parts knows this. How you can do the availability at scale. So it went from 20 days down to 5 minutes down per year because mainly of the alignment of the infrastructure. Time to market, previously releases were once per month. After that, each deployment we did more or less, we could do on every commit, usual story. Use feature flags, put this in production in the disabled state. Security fix. If you remember Log4j, if you remember NPM package breakage and Python, we rolled out the security fixes for dependencies for whole organization customers in 3 hours. Yes, it was 3.5 hours, do not BS you. There is downside, always downside. Every time I created this, the cloud cost goes up, always. Because you're moving fast and then you need to dedicate the team of heavy, hard rock DevOps and infrastructure developers who will decrease this cost. So this comes with a bit of cost, you need to always think about this. Okay, and here I've used Caesar phrase, experience is a teacher of all things, but I remember Beckett or another Irish famous writer said that, you know, the experience is is the result of my mistakes. So let me share my experience. Make sure that your pilot team, whoever is your first customer, so here is the platform, first customer, do everything for them. Put their favorite beverages. They need to say that you're awesome. Then your actually feedback on you multiplies. If you say I'm awesome, it will be 1x. If they say you're awesome, it's 10x. Always. Think about this. It's like psychology. Treat platform as a product. Internal teams are your customers. Always. So think about this. It's a paradigm shift. Invest into PM and develop DevOps culture. What does it mean? Describe how you enable their work, measure how it enables business and other parts. Evangelize. Mailing list, Slack channels, and make sure that you, in Slack, you answer in as fast as possible with not long links of long paragraphs of text, how to fix something, but more or less with URLs. Faster as possible to your documentation, which is generated by AI. Sure. For UI adoption, your best friend is UX. For infrastructure adoption, your best friend is DevOps. Security, SecOps. All the world is your friends. Believe me. That's the way. And jackpot strategy. Jackpot strategy, now we're a company. Half of the team, half of the tables, imagine, worked on the platform. It's freaking costly, it's time, and it's just used by half of the room. So what do? You make this for customers. So, remember the famous Utro, which I described for you? Similar as if you used Heroku or Vercel, we created a platform where you simply can say, create new Utro app. Previously, only developers inside of the company could do it. After that, it goes to customer. Before, only internal developer could do this on your infrastructure, then went to customers. 40 million annual recurring revenue. After that, our platform was the best baby of the company. So just use this trick, it's for you. And about myself, so never be afraid of the first step. I love hiking, walking, it changed my life, right? So if you know a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Do this first step and achieve your future, do what you love. Thank you very much, my friends, and have a lovely day.